so I'm in the front of my E30, and as you can see, I got the Mishimoto E30, E36 radiator mounted in the front. This was really simple because it used all the same stock hardware that came on the car, so it literally just drops perfectly in place. So then now I wanted to install an oil cooler, and since the car does not come on with factory and I wanted an improved version, I got the Mishimoto 19-row oil cooler, which I will have the link in the description down below for this guy. So I got this from Mishimoto, and I got it in the silver, which is beautiful, and I think it's really, really clean versus a black radiator. I don't think you'd be able to see it as much. And then in order to mount this, Garagistic comes in this baggie with all the hardware. They make billet brackets for the Mishimoto oil cooler, which is really nice. You can see how beautiful these are, the nice billet texture. These are super lightweight, and it comes with all the hardware necessary in the bag that you will need. So I'll have the link down below in the description for this product as well. I'm going to show you guys how easy this is. What's nice about this is that you do not have to drill into the chassis whatsoever. It mounts right up to the stock location of the top of the radiator support. Well, sadly, the Mishimoto logo is going to be upside down for this, and I'm going to flip it around. I'll probably respray the logo onto the oil cooler, but I'm going to flip her around like this, and the bracket, the really nice looking side, I'm going to put that down so we'll be able to see it. I'm just going to secure the 2 bolts from the top. All right, got one on. I'm going to do the other side. All right, I got the little brackets onto the oil cooler itself, and as you can see, there's one hole on either side of the bracket still, so I'm going to get this mounted like this, and then the 2 bolts are going to feed down through the radiator support through these holes, and this thing shall be mounted. I'm doing it this way. And that's literally how easy it is to mount the Garagistic oil cooler brackets. It's very, very sturdy. I'm going to do the lines later on when I plumb the entire car together, so that'll be in a later video, but this is the easiest, cleanest, best way to mount this, for sure. Now, if you saw me grinding away at the bumper, my panels that I welded on the car, my bumper didn't fit in properly, so I had to shave down. You can see where I had to do like a 90-degree angle in there. That's so the bumper could fit in all the way. I sadly have to shave down my freshly new painted engine bay to fit on the bumper because I didn't check to see if it would fit properly, but it's okay, you don't see it all where I grinded it down, and now it fits absolutely perfect. So now that I got the Mishimoto 19-row oil cooler on the car, I wanted to show you guys how it fits on the bumper since I decided to put the bumper on because I was curious on where this oil cooler exactly lines up for the front end for maximum airflow. The little grills in the center are missing, so you can see exactly where the oil cooler lines up. It's absolutely perfect, tons of airflow, and there's also plenty of room on both sides for the radiator to get airflow as well. Now, since I'm doing an LS swap, once the water pump and everything is in here, there's not a lot of room for the fans for the radiator on this side, so I will be having to put the fans on the front. And I was super worried about the fans not fitting behind the oil cooler, since I will be having to put the fans on the front of the radiator on the car. But I measured it for you guys. And if we look in here, the room between that radiator and the back of this oil cooler is 3.5 inches. There is plenty of room back there for whatever fan shroud or fan single, double, whatever that you decide to do for the swap. So it's really nice because this oil cooler fits stock setups and is perfect for a swapped BMW E30 as well. All right, so I'm obviously in front of the E30 and I'm working on getting the steering rack and the angle kit back in the car. So from Garagistic, since I will be deleting the power steering off of this car because the LS, there's not a lot of things to fit, but you can keep the power steering, but I'm not because it's a light car and it'll be pretty easy to steer and it'll be more responsive on the track. So from Garagistic, I ordered this power steering delete block, and it's a very simple, inexpensive kit that makes your life very easy and will help not blow out the gaskets in the power steering rack. I have a Z3 steering rack, so it's not the stock steering rack anymore, which also helps for the clearance for the oil pan for the LS3. And so all you need for this kit is the power steering delete, and it comes with these 4 crush washers and this little billet block. And they're the size of the stock screw that are on where the line's connected. Oh, my hair's gone. And the power steering. And then this is the bleeder screw here. So you are able to keep power steering fluid in your steering rack, which is important to keep it working as normal without the power part. And these are the stock bolts. If you leave it as is, you can see that they're completely sticking out because the lines would have connected to these holes. So then with this block in place, it'll make sure that the steering fluid does not go everywhere. I got the power steering delete block installed, and that little black dot is where you let the power steering fluid bleed out. And if you guys are curious on if you need power steering with the power steering delete, yes, you guys do. I use the Amsoil power steering fluid. It is my all-time favorite. I've been using Amsoil for the past few years. And to fill up your power steering fluid, even though you have a delete, what you do is fill up the steering rack with the power steering fluid, and then you keep your overflow or your bleed screw completely undone, and you want to full crank the power steering all the way to the right and all the way to the left with the steering wheel inside of the car. Let the power steering fluid leak out from its full crank to each side, and then put it back to the middle and secure the screw back in. And then in that case, you'll have the proper amount of power steering fluid to properly lubricate and protect the steering rack in your car. I got a really great deal on this suspension kit, and it is an angle kit for drifting. I couldn't pass this up, and it's pretty easy to swap the suspension in the future. It is the Wise Fab. It says E30, E36, E46 install kit, and I mean, it comes with camber plates. It comes with these huge control arms that have an insane amount of angle. It comes with these adapter plates and everything. Since it's made for the E30, I actually started installing it on the front driver's side, and my buddy was installing it on the passenger side at the same time. Nearly installed the entire kit just to realize that this little step
is not the same on an E30 and E36. Just to later find that in the instructions, it says that you have to run an E36 front spindle. So I had to take all the suspension off and put the stock suspension back on, kind of for no reason, just because I didn't read the instructions. I am going to be redoing the suspension eventually once I get new coilovers and the E36 front spindles, because that will also come with a 5-lug swap to complete that entire process. If you guys have any questions about any of the products I installed in this video, feel free to leave any questions in the comments down below of this video. I'm happy to answer any questions, along with accepting any advice that you guys want to give me as well, because I'm here to learn every day. This is my first full ground up build by myself. Also, shout out to Garagistic for these parts. The install was super smooth, super simple to do, and it makes my life a million times easier, saving me hours and hours of time of trying to figure out how to mount these products perfectly, and also adding stability to the car, which will be perfect for when I finally get this car driving, hopefully the end of April. I will also have a discount code in the description down below if you guys are interested in any Garagistic parts. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching my videos, and I hope you all have an amazing day or night, whatever time it is, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.